Hi, this is DeTracy Regula, and I'm coming to you from Isis Oasis in beautiful Geyserville, California. And I'm going to show you a little bit about our Minoan garden and our bees here. So, we are a retreat center which honors the goddess Isis, and we're here under the beautiful shadow of Geyser Peak. And in preparing our garden, we're trying to include many Minoan plants, such as were grown in ancient Minoan Crete. And here is one of them. And this is Drimia maritima, also known as Erginia maritima, and it is a giant sea squill, also known as a sea onion. And it's in its foliage period right now, and kind of at the end of the foliage period, it suddenly collapses, like this one next to it has done. And during its flowering period, everything will disappear above ground except for this giant floral stalk. And that's what our bees really love. And they'll be feeding off of that. As we pass by, here are some of our California poppies. Now, obviously, our California poppies are not something that you would find in Minoan Crete, but there are many types of poppies that do grow in Minoan Crete, and we know that the Minoans were aware of their uses and were using the opium for medicinal purposes and probably for religious purposes as well, too. Now over here we have the Vitex plant, also known as Agnus castus, and this is a plant that grows freely in Crete and other parts of the Mediterranean, and it is sacred to Hestia and also sacred to Hera. And another name for this plant is monk's pepper, and it was said to be given to monks as a way of maintaining chastity. But it has a very unusual action because while it apparently is an anaphrodisiac for males, it is believed to be more of an aphrodisiac for females. So that makes it a little bit more complicated if you're using this herb. Now over here we have our hive with our beautiful little bees, and this is a swarm that we captured from other bees living on the property. We have bees that are living both in our 1880s farmhouse and also in our temple church, which was built in 1935. And we believe that bees have been present in these buildings pretty much from the beginning. But every year we have a few of them swarm, and we've gotten much better at capturing them and putting them in proper hives so we can take care of them and give them some extra water and feeding if they need it. But right now they're quite busy and quite happy. They have such a beautiful color. I'm so pleased with these bees. And there's one going loaded with pollen. I hope you can see this as I'm pointing the phone camera. And we're told that since these bees have been present on this land for so long, that they're very well adapted and very healthy. So we're hoping that they will continue to thrive here for many, many years to come. And I'm going to be expanding the number of Minoan plants in our garden to hopefully set up a residence with the bees on Crete, which are a little bit different species and tend to be a grayer species of bee. So over here we also have our beautiful, beautiful rosemary. And this just recently stopped blooming. You can see some of the flowers still clinging there. But our bees especially love this rosemary plant. And we hope that they will hold out until it comes back into blossom. We're being very careful this year because we have been informed that we're in the midst of a major drought. And so we're going to be having to provide extra water for our bees, and we may also be planting some additional flowers that they can benefit from. And here are some more of our lovely poppies. We also have some purple poppies here too that we're trying to establish, and a few white ones right there. Now I'm going to go take you over here and give you a look at, I hope, some California native bees. They usually are hanging out over here. We'll have to see. And part of the problem is that a lot of our native bees are very, very small. Now that's just a regular honeybee, I think, flying in there. There is, if you were very quick, you may have been able to spot one of the tiny native bees that I was discussing, but they are not being terribly cooperative. What they're feeding on right here is a type of mustard. It's called black mustard, and it grows quite freely here in Sonoma County. It's been used as a ground cover by some of the vineyard owners, but it is very, very invasive. Okay, there's one of the baby bees. I'm hoping you're able to see it on that flower. I'm going to point to it. Oh, I think I scared it away. Either me or that much, much bigger bee. But here in California, native bees are really, really important as the honeybees. Their effects are not as obvious, but we have something like 1,600 species of native bees. And I thought I saw one over here. But as you can tell, they are elusive. We also have carpenter bees, which are frequently seen. Those are the big black bees. And we do occasionally see a few bumblebees, but the bumblebees are really suffering, and it's very hard for them to survive right now. So we are trying to provide a bee-friendly environment, not just for honeybees, but for all the very, very important native bees. Now, many of them are ground dwellers, which is interesting and makes for some differences in how we can help support them. So I'm hoping that we will succeed, and I'm inquiring of botanists and beekeepers who are aware of the native species to try and help us decide what we plant and how we can support these wild, beautiful bees at the same time that we're enjoying our somewhat more domesticated honeybees. I'm over here looking for bees, but as of this moment, I don't think I'm seeing anything to show you right now. But that doesn't mean that they are not here. It's just when you're dealing with bees that are about half an inch long, very tiny, it is hard to spot them too. I see a hornet going up through there, and as you know, hornets are definitely enemies to the bees, and we had one hive that did get attacked by hornets who just moved right in and put themselves into the hive. So we're aware of that danger. Yeah, let's see, I've got something buzzing around me, but again, I don't think I'm going to be able to capture it on this camera. Well, I hope you've enjoyed a little bit of a look at our Minoan garden and our honeybees, and maybe you were lucky enough to get a glimpse of one of those tiny, tiny native bees as well. Yesterday I was out here, we had some nice black carpenter bees going from flower to flower, but that doesn't seem to be the case right now. All right, and I'll be talking with you a little bit more about our bees here in California, how I accidentally became a beekeeper and a honey maker, and we'll be speaking with you in just a moment. Thanks for listening.